The One Piece world is absolutely massive, and figuring out who's good or evil is almost impossible. But for over 20 years, one guy has been walking that line crazier than anyone else. Vice Admiral Smoker. We all thought he was the Marine who would do anything to catch Luffy. But what if I told you that's completely wrong? What if this entire chase was a setup for the most insane twist Eiichiro Oda has ever written? I'm going to prove to you that one of the most dedicated Marines in One Piece was never a real Marine. We've watched Smoker chase Luffy for years, but that is not the real story. Oda has been setting up the most shocking betrayal in the entire series, and today, we're going to expose it. This is the insane theory of how Smoker's own justice was always going to make him betray the world government. To prove this crazy theory, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, Loguetown. This is where a young Smoker watched the Pirate King, Gol D. Roger, get executed. He saw Roger's smile literally start the Great Pirate Era, and he dedicated his entire life to stopping it. He joined the Marines for one reason: to make sure a new Pirate King never showed up. He became Captain Smoker, a guy so feared pirates wouldn't even step foot on the island. And then Luffy shows up. And this is where it gets insane. Smoker literally traps Luffy on the exact same execution platform, and just before he dies, Luffy smiles. It's the same smile as Roger. You can see the shock on Smoker's face. He is completely shook. He's not just seeing some rookie pirate. He's seeing the ghost of the guy who broke the world. This is the first crack in Smoker's entire foundation. He's the first person in the story to seriously worry that Luffy could actually do it, and that fear becomes his new obsession. But it wasn't just fear, it was respect. A few minutes later, Smoker has Luffy pinned, and a crazy storm, or maybe Monkey D. Dragon himself, saves Luffy. Smoker is just stunned, but as the Straw Hats get away, he feels something pulling him. He completely abandons his post in Loguetown, which is against all the rules, and chases Luffy into the Grand Line. A normal Marine would never, ever do this. This is a man chasing a feeling that just destroyed his entire world. If Loguetown was the spark, Alabasta was a gigantic explosion that completely shattered Smoker's brain. Until this point, Smoker thought all pirates were evil. End of story. But then he gets trapped in a sea stone cage by a warlord, a supposed hero named Sir Crocodile. He was literally about to die, and who saves him? Luffy. His #1 enemy orders his first mate Zoro to save the Marine who's trying to arrest him. I want you to think about how insane that is. In that one moment, Smoker's entire belief system, Marines good, pirates evil, was completely obliterated. In its place, something new started to grow. Justice based on what people actually do, not what flag they fly. And it gets even crazier. After Luffy defeats Crocodile and saves the entire kingdom, the world government covers it all up and gives the credit to Smoker. Any other Marine would take the win and shut up, but not Smoker. He gets on the phone with Marine HQ and literally screams at them for lying. This is not a loyal Marine. This is a guy who cares more about honor than his entire career. He openly tells them the Straw Hats were the real heroes. Alabasta is the arc where Smoker stops being just a Marine. He becomes a man looking for real justice, and that path was suddenly running right next to the Straw Hat Pirates. Fast forward 2 years to Punk Hazard, and this is where the theory goes from maybe to 100% happening. Smoker is a Vice Admiral now, and he runs into Luffy again, but this time they're facing an enemy together, a psycho-scientist named Caesar Clown, and even worse, a corrupt Vice Admiral, Virgo. Everything Smoker suspected about the government being corrupt was literally standing right in front of him. So what happens? Smoker and the Straw Hats form an official alliance. And the craziest part is how well Smoker and his G5 crew fit in with the pirates. But this is the most important moment. Doflamingo himself shows up and almost kills Smoker. And even as he's about to die, Smoker refuses to tell Doflamingo where Luffy went. He literally chose to die to protect a pirate. Just before Aokiji saves him, Smoker proves his loyalty. And who is Aokiji? A former admiral who already left the Marines to find his own justice. On Punk Hazard, Smoker chose to trust pirates over another vice admiral. He fought with Luffy. He's not just Luffy's rival anymore. He's the newest victim of Luffy's superpower, turning enemies into allies. The only difference is, Smoker is still in a Marine uniform. The question is, for how much longer? Smoker isn't just one random guy. He's proof that the entire Marine organization is broken. His personal code puts him on the side of dissident Marines who care more about real justice than the government's absolute justice. For a long time, everyone said Smoker is Luffy's Garp, but that's just wrong. Garp and Roger were enemies to the end. Plus, Garp never actually lost faith in the Marines. Smoker, on the other hand, is already completely done with them. Then you have someone like Admiral Fujitora. In Dressrosa, Fujitora did what Smoker could only dream of. He publicly apologized for the government's lies and exposed the warlord system. Smoker respects him, but Fujitora is trying to fix the system from the inside. Smoker is a lone wolf, a wild card who does what he wants, a lot like Luffy. And what about Kobe? Kobe is the amazing future of the Marines, a hero working in the secret sword unit. But Kobe is a planner. Smoker, with his crazy bike and cigars, is a chaotic force for good. He doesn't follow plans, he follows his gut. This makes his brand of justice more like Luffy's than any other Marine. He's the wild card who's realizing he's on the wrong team. So, what happens next? Everything we've talked about, Loguetown, Alabasta, Punk Hazard, it's all leading to one gigantic moment. Smoker finally betraying the world government. Now, I'm not saying Smoker will ever officially join the Straw Hat crew. That's not him. But when the truth about the Void Sentry and the evil celestial dragons comes out, there is zero chance his personal justice will let him stay a Marine. So, how does it happen? The stage is set. In the final war, his role will be insane. He won't be fighting for the Pirate King title, but for the man who represents true freedom. His rivalry with Luffy makes him the perfect person to fight Kuzan, his old mentor who joined Blackbeard, in a crazy battle between students who chose opposite paths. Ultimately, Smoker's betrayal is the ultimate payoff for his entire story. He would be choosing Luffy. He'd choose the pirates who save kingdoms. He'd choose the man who has the freedom he's secretly admired since that day in Loguetown. But I want to know what you think. Is Smoker going to betray the world government, or will he stay a loyal Marine forever? Let me know your theories in the comments right now. The best theory gets pinned. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insane One Piece theories. For years, everyone asked, who is Luffy's Garp? But that was the wrong question. Oda wasn't writing a copy, he was writing something new. Smoker's story isn't about becoming the next Garp. It's about becoming the person Garp never could be. A Marine who leaves a corrupt system to fight for what's actually right. From his respect in Loguetown to his anger in Alabasta and his alliance at Punk Hazard. Every single step has pulled him away from the world government and closer to Luffy. He is the ultimate proof of Luffy's greatest power, the ability to turn enemies into rivals, and rivals into allies. Smoker is the final piece of that puzzle, the pirate ally Oda has been hiding in plain sight all along.